Session 3. Attraction. This study session discusses forces that make people like one another, which explains interpersonal relationships. In the process of studying this session, you will see how people establish relationships, dating, and even end up falling in love, and in some cases get married. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Point out the forces that lead individuals to liking others, and 2. Highlight some of the claims of evolutionary psychologists on attractiveness. Interpersonal attraction. A major area in the study of people's relations to each other is interpersonal attraction. This refers to all the forces that lead people to like each other, establish relationships, and in some cases, fall in love. Several general principles have been discovered by researchers in this area. Determinants of attraction. We now take a look at determinants of attraction. Propinquity. A major determinant of who we end up being attracted to is propinquity, or sheer closeness of contact with potential targets of attraction. To a remarkable extent, the people one knows and likes and even loves are those with whom one comes in contact most frequently in neighborhoods, on the job, and in recreational settings. Proximity increases attraction as opposed to long-distance relationships, which are more at risk. 3 reasons for the power of propinquity are sheer availability, where one has to come in contact with others to have a chance to know and like them. Anticipation of interaction. Anticipation of interaction, where people tend to put their best foot forward for those they know they will see again. And 3, mere exposure effect. Simply encountering a person or object, even under negative circumstances, makes us like the targets even more. Similarity. A second major source of attraction is similarity. Engaged couples are more similar to one another than are randomly paired men and women. The more similar two people are in attitudes, background, and other traits, the more probable it is that they will like each other. Contrary to popular opinion, opposites do not usually attract. Studies using the bogus stranger paradigm invariably find that people like individuals who resemble them more than individuals who do not. There is scant evidence that opposite attracts. There are 4 reasons for the effect of similarity on attraction. They are: 1. Similar others validate our beliefs and values. 2. Similarity facilitates smooth interactions. 3. We expect similar others to like us, which is rewarding. And 4. Similar others have qualities we like. Physical attraction. This is another major source of attraction. Physically attracted people are much more popular with the opposite sex. Attractive people are given higher grades for their work. People who are physically attractive earn more money in the workplace, and they even receive lower sentences for crimes. In short, the benefits from a halo effect in that they are believed to have many positive qualities that go beyond their physical appearance. Attractiveness has an impact even in infancy and childhood. Attractive infants receive more attention from their mothers, and attractive children are believed to be more intelligent by their teachers. People think a transgression by a child is less serious if the child is attractive. Moreover, even 3-month-olds will look longer at an attractive face than at an unattractive one. Gender is an important variable when it comes to attractiveness, with physical appearance affecting the lives of women more than men. Women deemed unattractive at work suffer worse outcomes than men who are considered unattractive. Physical attractiveness has such impact because 1. It has immediacy, that is, you see it before any other virtues or faults. 2. Because the attractiveness of one's friends and partner affects one's prestige. And 3. Because biology plays a role, that is, we are wired to appreciate some kinds of physical appearance more than others. Evolutionary psychologist and attractiveness. Evolutionary psychologists argue that our biology prompts an attraction to features that signify reproductive fitness, that is, the capacity to perpetuate our genes in future generations if we were to mate and have children with a person who possesses those features. These include physical characteristics that signal vitality, fertility, and likely reproductive success. Evolutionary psychologists also claim that there are biologically based differences between men and women in the importance placed on attractiveness and in the determinants of attractiveness. In species in which parental investment is greater for the female, the males must compete vigorously among themselves for access to choosing females. The males also must compete for the female's attention and are typically the louder and gaudier of the species. In the human species, say the evolutionary psychologists, differential parental investment on the part of men and women leads women to prefer fewer sexual partners than men. It leads men to prefer women whose physical appearance gives the impression that they will be fertile. For example, features such as smooth skin and a waist that is narrow in relation to hips. Women are attracted to men who can be expected to provide for them and for their children, that is, men who are strong, industrious, and have social status. Though much evidence from the animal kingdom and from the study of the humans supports the hypothesis of the evolutionist, most of the human findings can be explained without resort to an evolutionary explanation. The strongest support for the evolutionary approach to attractiveness in humans comes from studies showing that women increase their preference for attractive, or at least symmetrical and masculine men during the ovulatory phase of their menstrual cycles, when they have a relatively higher probability of conceiving. The notion of reward can explain most of the reasons we like people. We tend to like those who provide us with the greatest rewards. Another way to understand attraction is in the terms of social exchange. This theory hopes that people pursue those interactions that provide the most favorable difference between rewards and costs. According to social exchange theory, relationships are based on rational choice and cost-benefit analysis. If one partner's costs begin to outweigh his or her benefits, that person may leave the relationship, especially if there are good alternatives available. With time, long-term relationships tend to become communal rather than simply based on exchange. Study session summary. This study session discusses attraction as a concept in social psychology. It was noted that people establish relationships, date one another, and even end up falling in love, in some cases get married. This study session covers some of the determinants or sources of attraction, some arguments of evolutionary psychologists on attractiveness. We have now come to the end of study session 3. Thank you for listening.